Hello and welcome back. Today is part 9 of how to create an endless runner using Unity and C#. Today we're just going to be improving some of the scripts, so let's just get started by opening up Visual Studio. We're going to want to start off in our player script, and the main thing we're going to be doing is, now that we have a UI controller, we're just going to want to take all of our UI from our player script and move it over here, just so it's a little bit easier to manipulate it all in the one spot. So we're just going to have to start by moving over the score. So we'll just cut out the score and then paste it into our UI controller. And now that we've done that, we need to come down and get the next part for the score, which was in the update. So it will go into this update. And then grab the last part, which is its own void. So that can just go here. Instead of high score, in here we have a high score score, so we just need to change all of these over. And then we'll need to link the actual score over, and what else will we need to do? We'll need to reroute the score over to here. So where were we doing the score? In block delete. So over here we're just going to need to change this over to, instead of being other, it's going to need to be UI. Because other was the player, because we were getting a script on the player script from the player, but now we need to get a script from the UI object, which has the UI script on it. So we'll just change that over to UI, and we'll change this over to UI controller, and then we need to define what UI is. Well, first UI needs to be a variable, so we have public game object, just called UI, and UI is equal to game object dot find game object with tag, and then the tag would be UI, which we still need to set. So now we'll save that, save that, save that, and come back into our game. And now if we come to our UI object, the UI controller, once it's loaded in the script, so if we come over to it now, we can see we have the score over here, but we still need to tag it. So we'll add the tag UI, and then give it the tag UI. And now we need to put our score in here, so come to our canvas and drag the score over, and now let's see how that's going. And we have our score working, but now instead of it running on our player, it's running in our UI. Cool. So that's one part done. Now we'll go back to our player script and we'll see what we need to do next. So the next bit of UI in the variables is the UDID. So we'll come and change that next. One sec. Sorry about that. So we'll just cut out. Sorry about that. So we'll just cut our UDID out like we did before, and paste it into here. And then we'll come down and grab our next part of our UDID again, and that goes into the start. And then this one here is a part of the health, and we want to copy the health over as well, so we'll just do both of these at once. So come and grab our health, put that over here as well, means then we can grab all of this because we're it's a plane. One sec. Okay, so yeah, we will want to do all of this in our UI controller as well because it doesn't really make any sense to do it in our player, seeing this is our reloading the level and stuff. So we'll just cut all of this down to here and move that over to the update, and then I think that's the last thing we need to move, because with this line here we're just going to change that instead of having it there. So we'll come over to here and we will get our high score working. Oh, actually we'll get the U died working. We already have the high score working, I don't know what's thinking. So we have U died turning to false. Let's just save this, save that. That's actually going to complain about that, so we'll just pick this up quickly. If we come over to here, we're going to need to add a new function into here, which is just going to be a public, a new void, not a function. A new void, well, a void is a function, so yeah, a function. Called take damage, and all take damage is going to do is minus our health by 1, so health minus minus, which just means it will minus it by 1 position. And then now we just need to trigger this whenever we hit something so that our health actually goes down. So if we come back over to here, this is where we're calculating if we hit something. So instead of minusing our health here, we want to trigger this. And so to do that, we just need to use a get component again. Basically the same thing we used over here, so we can just copy this and then paste it in here, and then we just want to change this over from score plus to take damage and get rid of the 1. We also need to define what UI is, that's why we're getting that. So if we come up to the top, we can just add a public, actually this one can be private, so we'll just add it as public. We'll add a public game object UI, and now that should be working fine. So we come over here, so now whenever we hit anything, we will trigger this and it will make our health go down. And then our health is all being calculated over here, so all of that should be fine. So let's go and have a look. We're just going to have to reconnect everything in the inspector. So we'll come to our UI controller, and now in here for our U died we want to add our whole first panel and then add our health. And then let's see how that's going. So we have that working and we have our health working. Cool. So now we have all those parts working but not running inside of our player script. So if we come back to our player script, we can see now in here we only have things that are actually to do with moving our player or calculating collisions with the player. And then in our UI controller we have all of our UI controlling and our level loading and our quitting. So that's a pretty good start. The main reason we want to do this is, like I said, then we can control everything in one spot and it just makes it a little bit easier. So the first thing we'll do with that is we'll just make it so when you're in the menu you can't see your score and your health here. So let's just do that. Yeah, so to do that we're going to want to go back into our Visual Studio and into our UI controller script, and we're just going to need to add a new public bool which will be plain, and all this will be is if we are playing the game, it will be equal to true. If we're in a menu, it will be equal to false. And this way we can turn stuff on and off, depending on that. So to begin with, when we start, we want playing to be set to false because we haven't actually hit play yet. So playing equals false. And then we want to come down to where we hit play. And we want to make playing equal true. And then to turn off our health, all we need to do is put all of that in an if statement, which just says if playing is equal to true. That way, if we're in a menu, playing will be equal to false, and whatever is happening here won't be happening. We'll actually need to do one other part, but we'll need to do this as well. So now we have that. The other thing is though, we still need to set all of these to false. So we'll grab the one where they're all set to false and just copy that and put that in our start as well. That way, whenever we reload the game, they're all set to false. But once we start playing, our health is 3 and playing is true, so they all become true. And then the last thing we need to do is the text. We'll just do another if statement for that. So we can just copy it from down here, paste it up here, and add our bracket, or our brackets. We'll just cut that, paste it, and then we'll also just add an else statement, and then copy that and paste it into the else. But instead of it being equal to score and our actual score, it will be equal to nothing, and this way we won't be able to see our text. So if you don't know what an else statement is, it just says if whatever is happening here isn't happening, then do whatever's here. Yeah. So now if we go back to our game, when we press play, we should hopefully not be able to see these. Cool. So now we can't see them. We press play and we can see them. When we die, we can still see the score, but we press start again and we can't see them. So I think that will be it for this episode. Next time I think I'm going to run through animations and maybe doing some of the camera follow stuff. So when you jump, the camera doesn't follow you and all that kind of stuff, so you can always see the ground. But yeah, I hope today was a little bit helpful. If it was, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.